Hello, 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 everyone. Where in the world have you been? We've been waiting on you guys for like 4 or 5 months now. That's right. We are back. We are here. We are excited. Gosh, I got to introduce the greatest show on earth, the best entertainer you ever met, the best kept secret, Randall Santa
Oh
Checker Lee.
man, I got to start that bill all over again this year, don't I, Bob? I gotta.
Yeah, I racked up some pennies last year. Let's see if we can make
Yeah,
it
you're
turn it
gonna
into
get a you're
extra
gonna
dimes
get a
this
big one
year.
for that one. Great to see everybody. Man, this is can't believe it's time already. It was last year, last October. Crazy.
Boy, I know we've all been extremely busy since the last time we were on. Hey, who's that sitting underneath you there, Randy? Yeah,
Mr.
down there.
Scott, there he is. Hello, Scott. Say
Hey,
hello.
everybody. Hey, guess what? Here in Oklahoma, we're having a heat wave. You believe in that? It's 60 degrees today, not 30 below. How about you guys? What's the weather in your areas?
Oh,
It's
Randy.
it's in the 40s. Actually, not quite 40, not quite 40, but there's sunshine. So, of course, with what I just had, I'm not allowed to go outside when it's in the 30s. So, can't wait till tomorrow. It's going to hit 50. Yeah, that's what they say after so many weeks after this kind of surgery is you can't go outside for the cold air. So, I can't wait till tomorrow when it gets to be in the 50s or upper 40s and I get to go outside. Woohoo!
Yeah, that'll
Awesome.
be nice. So, well, here in North Texas, we're in the mid 60s, sunshine, absolutely gorgeous day. Uh, we were down near freezing this morning, last couple of mornings, but we had a warm front move up this afternoon and it's warming things up nicely. Just happy to be sunshine, getting close to springtime. The show today has started. Tomorrow night, the Tuesday Night Live show kicks off for season 4. It's been a long off season. You wouldn't think when you count the days, it's been that long, that far off. But gosh, man, I know we've all been extremely busy. Now, I kind of bring everybody up to where we're at. I think everybody knows that Randy's had surgery recently, and he's a real trooper. He's here today. I don't know if he's 100%, but I'll tell you what, he sure looks darn good to me. So,
No, not
how you
100%,
feeling,
but
Randy?
hey, not 100%, but it's been nice. I have finally gotten some sleep at night. The cough has subsided, so it's gonna be. It's oh, they say it's a 6 to 8 week process after the surgery, so it's uh, it's a crazy thing your heart goes through when they reroute everything to another machine and then it comes back to your body, and it can mess with your head a little bit, but hey,
You mentioned
I'm on the right side of the grass, so I got another chance in life. So I'm gonna
that's
take every chance I can to keep on moving forward.
very true, and everyone knows that my one of my favorite sayings is "Count your blessings, not your sorrows." Now, you had written to me and told me that you'd made it through surgery and it really messed with your head. And I tell you what, you seem good and sharp today. Your head looks nice, so let's just count our blessings on that one.
I don't know
And
about that. Looks so nice, but
yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's so good to have you back on the show with us this season. Scott's going to be in company. He's going to be dropping in periodically throughout the season. He'll be here to fill in if for some reason Randy or I can't make it. But Scott, so how's your head doing today, man?
Well, it's a little dark, needs some color. But, that's, Bob, I might get spanked. My hand may get spanked for not coloring in off season, but you got to give it a rest. Randy will probably agree with that. You got to let the roots get strong and grow back out a little bit. So other than that, my head's pretty straight. I've had some I guess some sad information, come through the wires, and we have a lot of brothers in red, and we've lost some missuses, and
Let's
I'd
talk
like.
about that a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that before we get into hot topics today. So let's go ahead and mention John Shuey. Santa America has entered hospice care, and if you can, please keep him, his family in your prayers. Now we're going to ask for a lot of prayer today because, boy, even though it's been a short off season in number of months and days, so much has happened. John, everybody knows John and the tremendous work and value that he has given to the Santa community through Santa America. Just cannot say enough about what he what he has contributed, and such a nice man. Been on our show a couple of different times, and been to Spangles School of Santas and presented a couple of years. And gosh, I mean, it just rips your heart out. But we've all got to go someday, and it's not a good day for those that left behind, but for those moving forward in life or beyond life, if you want to look at it that way, it's a glorious day. Uh, what else? Who else we want to talk about here, Randy? You want to mention Kathy?
Yeah. Well,
Also, of course, everybody knows since the first year we've had a couple other people that we've lost. Melissa Lynn's husband passed away on January 13th.
John Rickard.
John Rickard. So it was a sad loss there. A very young man. Just moved to Michigan last year, and after living in Arkansas all his life, and tragic. Really hurts the community. And then Kathy Cage.
You and I have talked many a times about the snow and snow blowing and that sort of thing. That's something physical. Being outside in the extreme cold, guys, you've got to know what your limits are and not overdo it. And that's kind of what happened to John. He'd been out blowing the snow with the snow blower that morning, and started feeling bad, and went in and collapsed. And Melissa, being in the medical field, did everything she could, but it was just his time to go. The Lord needed him, and
he was a great servant while he was here.
Yes, he was.
And then last week, Kathy Cage, Mrs. Claus, passed away suddenly also, as far as I'm concerned. A great loss for, of course, MAPS and the Mrs. Claus community. The lady was just full of laughter and full of just, she couldn't help but giggle every time you saw her. And to lose,
so cheery, so full of life. Been to SOS, I guess the last three years, and just always so much to add. And another big loss. And then, it just seems like the hits keep coming, Randy.
Yeah. Was down in Katy, Texas, that I worked with at one of the big box stores my first year. His wife texted me this morning, Giles Davenport, and he went in Saturday to the hospital with a heart attack, and he's still in ICU. They're trying to move him to Medical Central or Central Medical in Houston, I guess, today, but there are no rooms. So the cardiologist and the surgeons can decide what the next move is. He's another one we definitely need to keep in our prayers, as well as the other families.
So many friends and families we really need to keep in their prayers, because they've gone through a great loss, and we all know they've gone to a better place, but it still hurts everybody that's here. And so please take a moment. Let's take a moment of silence, if we don't mind, to say a little prayer for everybody, please.
Did we cover everybody? Is there anyone we left out? I know there's a whole list of folks we wanted to mention, so I think we got them all.
I think we got that's more than enough as far as I'm concerned. It's sad that it's already that many, and it's only the middle of February, and that's where it's I hate to use this word scary, but it's scary.
Yeah, it really, really, really is. And okay, so on to a brighter note. Thanks everyone for their prayers and thoughts, and keep Randy in your prayers too. He's going to need some strengthening up there. He's going to need a little more chicken noodle soup to get his wings back under him, but he's looking awful mighty good there, and it's good to have you there, Randy. I know there was some question whether or not you'd missed some shows, but hey, Randy, and my last graphic in our new lead-in video. Hey, what y'all think about that new lead-in video?
It was awesome. Good job, Bob.
New work there. Anyway, the last graphic is Randy always says it's showtime, and Randy is the ultimate performer and just always, always there. Thank you, Randy, for being here today. All right, guys. Hey, ready for the first something burger of the season. We not only got 2 topics today, we got 3, and we're going to let Scott go first. You know why?
Because it's Scott's S is on the first line. Is what it
Yes.
was. Yeah, because S is on the first line. That's why
We're
I
going to
Scott
be
up
nice.
there.
Let him go first. Let Angela play the lead in. Our lead in from last year. We did not change that. It will remain the same. That was such a great one from Randy. I couldn't change it. So let's go.
Sorry, yeah. I asked if I should. I wanted to think about asking about changing, but that burger's too yummy.
Too good.
Yeah.
Can't do it. All right, here we go, Scott. It's your turn. Go, brother.
Hey, what are the advantages attending a clause school versus a convention with seminars?
Great question.
And
Wow.
I want to know you guys' thoughts as well. I mean, there are a lot of seminars. What is it, ISC and the Santa Claus Gathering in Gatlinburg, and what is it, Texas? The Texas group has a big deal, but they're mostly seminars.
Yeah,
so what do you guys
many
think?
conventions, many conventions, seminars. Most of them have gotten workshops that they present, like the ISC and Santa Family Reunion in Gatlinburg. Some of your events up in the Northeast are now swinging more into the educational side. So you're seeing more and more educational. Lone Star Santa's used to just be a mini convention. Now they've added breakout sessions and workshops to their agenda. So that's the question that is posed. You guys throw it at us. Tell us if you prefer one over the other, the benefits, the pros, the cons.
I think any time you get together with brothers and sisters in this business that can further us is a pro. Anytime, if it's a convention, a conference, a school, regardless what it is, that way, you're going to learn something. You're going to be one step further, one step closer to making those smiles on their children's faces. So when it comes to that, both kinds of places, they both are a positive. So our schools focus more on education. They really do. North Pole Cornerstones, School of Santa, all that. They focus more on training straightforward. But then you still have the nighttime to chit chat, and same with conferences and all that. So anytime you get together and can pick the brain of a fellow brother or sister in red, come on, that's right there is makes us all better. So I think they both have an advantage, and use them to your advantage as much as you can.
Let me ask this, throw this out there. When you go to a big conference or where they offer the seminars, do you feel like you get the same warm intimacy that you do in a Santa school?
I went to Denver. It was the last big convention I went to. I went to Denver, and it was kind of overwhelming when there's 800 people. You got a class of how many, 80 or 100. You don't have the intimacy. You break off a little bit here and there, but it's not the same type of training as a class that has 60 or 80 or 100 people at. And that even splits off sometimes. Yeah, it's not the same. I don't feel it's the same that way. You might get the gist of the class, the training, if there's also any pamphlets or everything you can take with you. It always helps too. But yeah, it's far more intimate to go to a school that way. Yeah, in my opinion. And you're only, I mean, it's how are you going to meet everybody? 1,200 people or 1,000 people. It is kind of, I was overwhelmed there. I had a great time, don't get me wrong, but you go to a school and there's 40, 50, 60 people. You're like a family. You can talk to somebody there, talk to somebody there, talk to somebody there. You're gonna talk to almost everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and you get to know those people and you develop a relationship more so in the school atmosphere. And, I pose the question because my advice because I saw a lot of new Santas in the first part of February at Cornerstones and first year wanting to learn. I would highly recommend if you're not sure and you think this is what you want to do, go to a school before you go to a convention.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that is a great point. Let's catch a couple of comments here that are starting to run
Oh
away
yeah.
with us. Charlie Johnson says both are sort of similar if the convention has workshops or seminars. Here's an update from Parker Odell, who says that he heard from John's daughter yesterday, speaking of John Shuey. He is in good spirits and they have a good replacement for him in Santa America. And that's something that John has worked diligently for months now, knowing his condition was deteriorating, I guess you would say. And it's good to know that everything's going to continue to move with Santa America. Let's Charlie Johnson again says the best part of either is the networking with other Christmas performers, a point that Randy and Scott has made. Sean, hello, Sean. Good to see you, dear. It was good having you down in San Antonio. Boy, did we have fun. A Santa school has substance. It's always nice to get together, but it's nice to sharpen our skills and learn to develop our abilities. Now, something that we didn't hit on too much leading into the North Pole Cornerstones, but this was a different kind of school. For those who came and attended, they'll tell you it was exactly what they've been missing and what they wanted, what they needed. Sean was one of those that had nothing but really nice things to say, which we were glad that she went easy on us instructors because we worked really hard to make this a different school altogether. And we'll talk more about all that later. Randy Neely says you also realize how big and important family is. Loved North Pole Cornerstones. Randy and Debbie was also there. It was great having them down there. What else we got, Randy? Are you able to see
I
them?
love having a smaller crowd. It's easier to really get to know everyone in San Antonio.
Antonio. Large
Um,
conventions, you can get opportunities to sample other offerings between education, breakout sessions. It helps to define what the direction of the take in your training sessions.
That's Carl White.
And then next one is so many of the workshop seminars are just sales pitches for products or services in larger conventions.
Let's see. Park Odell says, for me, I went to Gatlinburg, and as a young Santa, I felt like it was great for me. I kind of got the get that since I was the youngest Santa there, everyone wanted to mentor me in some way or form. I viewed the convention as a networking opportunity for me. Say hi to Melissa Lynn, Santa Mail is on. Good to have you, sweetie. Uh, what else we got here? Looking down through Dana Prostrollo, define what this going to see you in define what this going to see you in San Antonio. We still have no babies. Oh, eviction day has been set for February 27th. Dana and Everett were early sign-ups for the Cornerstone, but they had to back out because they were expecting their daughters expecting was supposed to have been the weekend of the Cornerstones, which was now several weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So the eviction date is February 27th. I guess they'll induce labor at that point.
well, hello, Ron.
Go ahead,
And
Scott.
Mike Hutchins is on today too. And as he said, it was a wonderful experience for me, a great learning opportunity.
Yeah, and Mike was one of our volunteers who actually got up, performed, did a skit in front of the whole classroom, and
He also won the scholarship from Tuesday Night Live.
yes, he did, and he's on a roll tomorrow night. He is our featured guest. No, next week. I'm sorry, the 27th is our featured guest. Our first real show. Tomorrow night's show will be kind of a preseason, opening up the season, talking about what all's coming for the 24 season, and then Mike will be our first guest the following week. As Phineas the Elf, such a fantastic performer.
What
Yeah,
a
it's
performer.
not tomorrow the 27th. He was AJ wants to attend Santa Fe reunion next year. He's super stoked. Okay, so Randy Neely, it's really cool that people are still posting how much they enjoyed North Pole Cornerstones. We all learned a lot. Did not seem like a first year school. Great subjects and great instructors. Thank you, Randy. You're so kind. Uh, Deanna's on with us today. She was also part of our instructor corps for NP Cornerstones. She says hello to everyone. Jenny Lynn Claus is on. It's important to attend schools, local gatherings, find a mentor that fits your needs, have fun, develop friendships with other people with things in common, plus learn in many forms from many people. All very valuable. Great, great, great points. Gosh, man, we got a good crowd today. Hello, Santa Wade Moore. Good to see you. Okay, Randy, you want to let's go ahead and jump on to the second question?
Let's go. This is number two. This is number 2. When attending a class, training events do things like exclusive, excuse me, when attending a class training event, boy, those drugs are still pretty much deep in me, man.
You
It's
need to share
crazy.
some.
When attending a class training event, do you like an all-inclusive meal, or do you want to be on your own doing meals? Um, would you like to learn about the local establishments? Would you like to eat at the hotel? What do you like? Do you like it all arranged for you, kind of as the bottom line, or do you like to be on your own when you're out and about to a clause event? What is your preference?
Now I hate to keep harping on the cornerstones, but the event was just earlier this month, and that's kind of where we're taking these questions from because it was kind of a follow up that we were left wondering about. All of our meals were inclusive there. We had an executive chef, and I'll tell you what, Scott, as soon as we got there, he was the first person we saw. He walked out, greeted us, asked if it was anything we wanted to change on the menu list. I mean, he was wonderful to work with. Gosh, he was so much and such a delightful and fun person.
Yeah,
Uh,
well as the F&B manager was right there all the time too. Whatever we
exactly
need,
with him.
I mean, if we needed a table or if we needed, something moved, his and two girls did the whole thing. The two ladies did everything. Set the tables up, tore them down, set. I mean, the staff
Play
at the
line, everything.
hotel, as far as F&B goes, absolutely superb.
And the two ladies have been there how many years?
20.
20 years
That's
at that hotel.
that's surprising to hear
And
that
they
somebody's
won't
been
let
at
anybody else come in and do it. They don't want extra help. They just want to do it themselves, and they
And
work
they
hard.
have got it down to perfection.
Yeah, two little bitty ladies. They're not very big. They're little bitty ladies.
They got it down absolutely. So the reason we posed this question was I don't know how many of you know anything about San Antonio, but me being here from North Texas, investing in San Antonio my whole life, it is really uh, a hard place to find. I mean, there's millions of I said millions. There's a ton of hotels down there that has conference centers and that sort of thing. But if you get down on the downtown area, the Riverwalk, you pay premium price. Parking goes from anywhere from $30 to $60 a day if you can find parking. Just no parking exists except parking garages. If you use the valet at the hotel, you're still uh, expected to tip the valet even after paying $30 to $60 a day for parking. So we went out to the northwest side of San Antonio when we found a hotel. We looked at half a dozen hotels over the course of a couple of months, Scott,
Yeah,
and this hotel was willing to work with us. It was a nice facility, had everything that we wanted. The only problem was, and this is not much really of a negative, but there was a comment or two that was mentioned. It was kind of in a weird place because it was right where 410 and I-10 meet, and it was in the corner.
kind
Well,
of like
the closest restaurant was around the corner, about between an eighth and a quarter of a mile, a little bit too far to walk. And then the next Whataburger was several blocks down the street the other direction. So it was kind of isolated when it came to shopping within walking distance where it was sitting at. Not that you couldn't take an Uber. And then Scott even spoke afterwards on our follow up with the hotel. They have a shuttle service that they go pick up, and they picked up a lot of our folks at the airport, brought them to the hotel. Scott said that they will arrange to actually give us shuttle service
to
next
the
year if we want
mall.
to go back to that hotel.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. anyway, just things that we've been chatting about behind the scenes.
Well, some of the answers
Uh,
are Randy Neely says arranged are the best for us. Randy and Deb said that's probably the best way to go is prearranged. Everything ready to go. You know what you're going to eat, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, where you're going to eat. Um, Next is
Charlie
Parker.
says
It depends upon the situation. Um, he likes mix of both. It says so, which is understandable. Especially you do a couple together or quite a few together to keep the camaraderie, and there is something around the area. Then it's Sean. All inclusive, and having classes in a hotel are perfect. Um, the couple of field trips were a blast. It helped keep everyone focused. It seemed like food was top notch. No complaints. That was from Sean White. And then we
now
got
reiterating on that just a bit, Randy. I don't mean to
sure,
jump in,
sure.
cut
Go
you
ahead.
off.
No, no, go ahead.
But Saturday night we had a field trip. We went had a motor coach, a professional motor coach, pick us up at the hotel, take us down to the Riverwalk. We walked down, loaded 2 barges, took the scenic river tour, sang Christmas carols the whole way. It was a ton of fun, a blast, something very unique and special, something I can't wait to do again. And then we left there, loaded back onto the bus, went back out towards where the hotel was to County Line Barbecue, one of the oldest barbecue spots down in San Antonio. Had a great big room arranged and set for us, and it was so much fun. Loaded back up, went back to the hotel for the night. But that's the field trips that she's referring to. Okay,
Well,
Randy,
the
go
other
ahead.
thing is that, um, that people didn't realize is in trying to set all this up for Cornerstones is that the restaurants on the Riverwalk is where we wanted to be. And that restaurant is available on the Riverwalk. They couldn't handle 50 of us on a
On the
Saturday
weekend,
night.
yeah, they told us if it
And
was
they
during the
wouldn't
week, they probably could
guarantee us
handle it.
to get in. So
And did we have a phenomenal Sabrina, our waitress? She handled the whole room by herself and did a phenomenal job.
once she got the food coming out, it rock and roll. But
Yeah,
I mean, it was a little overwhelming with the drinks in the beginning for her, but she handled it. She did a good job for one person. Can't
yes,
complain.
she did. She really did. And she's been there. Another one of those that's been there. I think he said 20 years or something like that. I don't remember exactly how many years, but it was a lot of years. They're number one waitress at that location. Parker Odell says, if I was in San Antonio, I would love to see the Alamo. Now we unloaded and loaded right at the Alamo. Went through the Marriott River Center lobby to or down the stairs and got to the boat where we loaded the boats out back of Marriott. But we had originally planned on trying to do the San Antonio Alamo tour, the guided tour that they have, or even the free tour as a group. What we didn't realize that in the winter, since it gets dark so early, the Alamo closes early. So we would have had to end up using most the whole day of Saturday and just cut out most of our curriculum at the school itself to be able to do those things together. So we put the word out: come a day early, stay a day late, go see the river walk on your own, go see the Alamo on your own. And I know a few people took advantage of that while we were down there.
Well, the big thing is that we'd love to do 4 days and do 2 buses. One bus for the Alamo and one bus somewhere else. However, it's not. At 450, which the school was included the meals and the bus and the boats and everything else other than dinner on Saturday night at the barbecue place. But I will tell you this: the barbecue place was family style. It wasn't a buffet. They bring it to the table. It was family style, but it was all you could eat. So if you left there hungry, it's your own fault. You didn't get extra of whatever you wanted. So in order to
Chopped
do the
beef,
other, we'd have to do 4 days,
we
and then
got
the price.
chopped beef, we got barbecue chicken, we got sausage, we had potato salad, beans, and coleslaw. We had our drinks, so it was pretty good stuff. Not too
You
bad at
know,
all.
but yeah, I don't know how many people would want to come for 4 days, but when you travel as far as some people did, most of them stayed the extra day. So, uh, 3 days, 2.5 days, I guess is pretty much what it is. But you know, if you did 4 days, you could put some more of that in there. But like I said, the cost has to go up because of the cost of transportation. And parking
Yeah.
in San Antonio is like a national deficit if you can find a spot.
Yeah, and our hotel offered free shuttle and free parking, so that was really cool. Uh, Back to Rick Maynard says it was nice to break it. It is nice to break bread together. This is his comment towards what we were talking about. Did I miss anybody else in there?
My cousin said,
You
"Yep, a
got
ride."
Ben.
Charlie
Ben
said arranged
says,
meals are for easier and far easier and quicker.
Getting people in the situation, I like to mix them.
Ben Bellhorn says it's if it's all inclusive, it elevates the problem of 30, 40, 50 or more people trying to get into a restaurant together. Very true. And getting back to class on time. That's something with my smaller Sat Bob's classes that I've run into. Some people may not want to go across the street to the burger place. They may want to go down 2 or 3 exits off the highway to a different, place of a different taste that day, Chinese food or whatever. And then they're slower getting back to class. Even if you give an hour and 15 or hour and a half, it's still hard to get everybody back in class on time when you break separate and go your own way.
And we tried to use a big variety of different types of food that's native to San Antonio and Texas. You know, on the buffet that we offered at Cornerstones. I mean, it wasn't just tamales or it wasn't just enchiladas. I mean, it was fajita. It was a big spread. I'm telling you. Now, again, if you go hungry, you better go complain to the chef because he's going to tell you it's your own fault.
Yeah. Mike Hutchins says that the food was as good as it was at MP Cornerstones, taken together, having communal meals, allow attendees to chat, get to know one another outside of class, and definitely led to a family atmosphere. That is one thing. And I think one of the biggest things that I took away from Cornerstones and with all the other schools and conventions and everything I've been to, this seemed like more of a family situation. Like we all just really bonded more at Cornerstones than I have seen at any other event that I've been to. Okay, gosh, my comments are jumping so fast it's hard to keep up with them. Santa
Well,
Kevin
Bob,
says,
that
"Made it back."
also
Hi, Kevin. Good to see you. Mike also says, yep, arrived on Wednesday, did New Braunfels, Grooney one day, and San Antonio touristy stuff the other, which he did. He took advantage of that. Oh, something I was going to mention. We talked about extending it to 4 days. Think about travel. You travel to get there, you travel to go home. So it doesn't matter how many days you stay because you still have one way in, one way out. It really depends on if you pay for 3 nights of hotel or 4 nights of hotel or 5 or whatever. But if you're looking doing a event where there's multiple days and you want to come in a day early and stay a day late, take advantage of that because if you turn around 6 months later and go back down there, then you still got that trip before and a trip after, and you're ending up costing yourself money that you could have done all in one inclusive trip.
Yep. So to answer the question that Randy posed, I like the meals there. It's a lot easier and it keeps everybody together now and wandering off. And I think when you look to set an event up, those are some of the things you need to look at is whether they can provide food or have a kitchen you can use to provide the food yourself, like Spangle does.
Yeah, both ways it's all inclusive, which is really cool. Mitch Allen, hello, Mitch. Good to see you, man. He says I'm getting hungry. Deanna Golden says a lot of food. Man, we have got a lot of comments here. I think they're pretty much all highs and filling in pretty much what we've already talked about. So let's go ahead and move on to part 3. And you guys can continue to put comments in for question 1, 2, 3. We'll go back and look at those after the show, and if there's anything we need to address, we will. Question 3: what is the 2 biggest factors in deciding whether or not to attend a clause training? What are your 2 biggest factors that you take into consideration?
The
Randy,
presenters,
what was Randy?
No, go ahead, Scott. Scott started.
The presenters, to me, I mean, the material that they're offering to me is a big factor whether I want to go to this class or not. And the other thing is, other factor is that is it a value? Well, like Cornerstones, everybody that attended said it was a great value. Spangle School is a good value. But I think a lot of that is because of the material, the presenters, and the food that's included in it. You don't have to go hunt for it. And if you eat
Exactly.
in a restaurant, it's expensive. For those that don't know, when you put one of these schools or a convention together, the food is a big part of the cost. It's not so much everything else. It's the biggest part of the cost is the food.
Well, two-thirds of the cost for Cornerstones was the food because we had, 4 meals. And the Sunday night banquet meal was the big plated meal at the round tables. That, you lump all that in there and you try to go out now just to get a burger. Two people go out and get a burger, you're going to spend 25 to 30 bucks if you get a burger,
Yeah,
fries, and a drink. I
yeah.
mean, so, cost has really gone up across the board, and when we first set our price for Cornerstones, we knew that it was going to be a tight budget. We knew we were walking a really thin line. Luckily, it worked out. Everything, worked out the way. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better launching of a new school. It was fantastic. Uh, Looking at the price going into it, though, a lot of people say, "Well, it's too expensive." I understand if it's out of your budget, but you can't use the term "it's too expensive" without taking into consideration the value that you get for what you're paying for. And yeah, it may be too rich for your blood, and that's understandable. We get that, So anyway.
There's to me there's a few different things deciding, and also to me it starts with your level of years as Santa too, or Mrs. Claus. To me, that makes a difference also where you decide whether or not to attend or where to attend. Um, do you want to just learn the basics? Do you need to learn the basics? So you find a school that just has the basics. Do you want to be just learn about performing? That's what Scott said. Look, see what the criteria is or the curriculum is. That's what I decide on. Also now, especially, um, it's great to see people and hang out and everything else. But it's not just a vacation; it's also to learn something. So, but decide what I guess level you're on, whoever it is, Mrs. Claus or Santa, and then decide what you want to learn at that time. There's so many specialty schools out there now, and they've changed so much. I mean, look at Cornerstones. I mean, it is interactive, and that's what is becoming, I think, which is great now, becoming the norm instead of just talking to the people and you listen and you go home. So you're going to learn a lot more that way on that. So to me, that's a big deciding factor for me is what the curriculum is. What am I going to learn? But also first know your professional level, what you want to learn. Of course, like Bob said, guys, we all have a bottom line that what we can and can't afford. Of course, I'm in Michigan. The oldest Santa school around is in Michigan, CW Howard. But it's, most people, it's 15, 1,800 dollars plus to go to Charles W. Howard. Now it looks great on a resume, and all that, and you learn the basics, but that's can be out of some people's price range. So it really all depends. So there's so many schools to pick from now, and there's so many incredible, knowledgeable Santas and Mrs. Clauses out there that'll teach us so much, and always learning something new. So take a look at each one, and take the time to put some money away and attend a class. I can't begin to stress it enough. It's worth every penny. Sometimes we can't afford it, like Bob said, but it's worth it.
Well, and that's the thing. You take what you earn and you put a portion of that back for education. You put a portion of that back to upgrade your costuming, and each year if you do that, then you have money to work off of, and you make that back up your next year in performance. What you learn is so valuable that it will land you more work than what you had the season before. With Cornerstones, we had business, we had history, and really heavy on performance. We wanted this to be more of a performance interactive school. And I took the time one afternoon to kind of go around in some of our breakout sessions and ask this question to a couple of groups. If you had have known beforehand what we have had you, the assignments we gave you this weekend, would that deter you from coming? We did have a couple of people say, yeah, it probably wouldn't have come if I'd have known that. Number two question was, did we put you in an uncomfortable position by asking you to do this? Was it outside of your comfort zone? Again, yes. A couple said yes. And then third, are you glad you came, and are you glad we put you in a position? And do you feel like you're better and happy that you did participate? And how are you going to use this in the future? And what is your biggest takeaway from what you learned? And it was overwhelming that everyone said, of course, we're glad we came. So it's a new concept, but it really, really, really went over well.
Bob, I want to add one thing. When we did Sat Bob's in Edmond at the Hilton Garden Inn in their convention center, we had some brothers come from Kansas that had never been to a school and been performing, what, 15, 17 years? Or
Thanks,
even
Jim.
longer.
We've been performing over 25 years.
Okay, 25 years. When he left that class, he said to Bob and I, he says, I never dreamed there was more to learn than what I already knew.
One of
So
the things I
I don't
told some of
care.
the,
I don't care how experienced you are. If you've never been to a class, do me a favor as a fellow brother and go try it. Because I promise you, you'll leave with something new. I promise you'll leave with something new you didn't know, or
I
something
told
new that you said, I think that'll work in my portrayal.
I told several people in San Antonio towards the end of the weekend that think back on what all you've learned this weekend, what all you've been through, and just remember that you are the only thing holding you back. And I know Randy, being the ultimate performer that he is, uh, surely at some point you were hesitant to step outside your comfort
Oh,
zone.
very,
And
very scared to
think
try
that-
something new. Instead of
Yeah.
being me when I was young or whatever it was, all of a sudden, try this, try this. This is new.
Mhm.
Until you get to feel comfortable at it, but it's worth every bit of effort and time to do that, because none of us know it all. Well, there's one, but that's
Yes.
that's a total different subject. Um, but we always can learn something every day, regardless how long we've been in this business. There is a new mind, a new thought, a change, and we owe it. And I said it last season. We owe it to the children to do that, because that's our job. That's our responsibility. Is to be the best we can to make those smiles. I'm not going to share it today, but I had the most amazing letter sent to one of the companies I worked for this last year. A letter from a mom, a handicapped young lady. Her mom sent it. Just beautiful letter of thank you. But just doing that just makes me want to do it more, because that, that's why we do it. That's why we do it. Because we want to know the smiles, to feel the heart, to feel the love from that child. And if we don't go to school because we think we know it all, no, don't, because we don't know it all. It is our responsibility. And I got proved again last year that, man, it feels good to do that, and I got to learn more. But
One of the things I was told when I first started, Randy, because both you and Bob have been doing this a lot longer than I have. But one of the things I was told, it was in a school or from another Santa, had said to me, says, the best Santas out there today are the ones that have been taken out of their and move out of their comfort zone. And when I first started this, used to hate to have my picture taken. And I was not a big smiler. I've never been a big smiler. So what did I do? I learned to smile. I learned to have a picture taken. I learned to do it with my eyes as well. So I was taken out of my comfort zone. And as Bob says, he says, you're a good Santa. You're young, but you're a good Santa. But I told him, yeah, you're right, Bob. I am young.
All right, real quick, Jerry, the keynote speaker for Spangles class, School of Santas this July is Jeff McMullen, Crinkle U, Barnum and Bailey Clown, Ronald McDonald at one point for the western half of the country, ultimate performer. So that's an answer to your question. All right, guys, we have spent 45 minutes on these first three. Normally we spend 10 to 15 each. So our time has come on this one. Thanks everyone for their input, their answers, their good words about cornerstones and all that sort of thing. We'll talk a little bit more about the schools and things in our segment coming up. But right now, let's go ahead and let's get in our first trivia of the season.
Wow, trivia.
Yeah, we're going to do trivia. Ain't that going to be fun? All right, Angela, go ahead and lead us in.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob Randyl and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob Randyl and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
As always, we're going to let Randy take his segment, and I know it's got your name in it, so
It's got my name in it. So I guess I'm gonna take it. What was the launch date of the new rebranding, the new revamping of the Monday night show, where Randall Santa Checker Lee took over as co-host and is also was known as S1E1. What was the date, the launch date? Now we know what the S1E1 means, but does anybody know what the launch date of that? The whole show is revamped and changed by Bob giving in to me for all that money, you know.
hey, and you know the best part about it, Randy? Wait for it.
It's it always will be, folks. It'll never change, guys. It'll always be free. We will bug you for free. So that'll never, that favorite F word will never change. But what was the launch date of the new revamping of the Monday show, where me, Randall Lee, took over as co-host and was also known as S1E1? What was the date of that event?
And we've already got some good answers coming in over there, Randy. So,
Yeah.
yep, I just could not wait to do this. It's just been, oh man. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Now, you know, we're trying to do things different here on Monday and Tuesday. So I know in the past we've always had a take us out of a segment video. Not doing that this year. We're just going to do the shorter lead-ins, and then we're going to move along. But we do have a new lead-in for the next segment. And I'm going to turn it over to Angela and let her play this little fun segment right here.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Noah Lott with Elf and Chatterbox News Report, reporting for the Bob Randyl and Company Live show. Remember, you can catch our live reports every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Now back over to you guys in the studio for the latest on this breaking news event.
Wow.
That was awesome. That was really good.
I love
I
it.
tell you what, Noah, he is a great reporter. He has really got his stuff together. He knows a lot, know a lot.
I
All
guess
right,
it's
so let's jump on into this. There'll be times when Noah will bring us some segments, but today for the first show, we just want to kind of jump into this is old news. I know we beat this one to death last season, but it is news, and it is the next big upcoming event that we're involved with, and that is School of Santa's 2024, Branson, Missouri, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, 4 days. And we just mentioned a moment ago to Jerry that keynote instructor is Jeff McMullen, Kringle University. Uh, I haven't talked to Spangle in a couple of weeks. He said it was sold out, but that he was going to go ahead and take reservation names in case there was cancellations, which after being part of Cornerstones this last go round, there are folks that have to cancel for one reason or another. If you're the Prostrolos, you're waiting on grandbabies, still waiting on grandbabies. So anyway, so if you have not and you would like to get your name on the waiting list for Branson, July 2024 keynote instructor Jeff McMullen, please reach out to Tanya at Branson Ticket and Travel.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, over to you on the next one. Just a little lead in.
Is there a lead in for it? Or is
No,
it
I
me?
mean just a
Lead
little
in?
talk session here. Yeah.
Yeah, North Point Cornerstone has its inaugural sessions on February 4th through the 6th of this year and have met and started the process of future plans. You really, if you got the opportunity, you need to think about coming to Cornerstones. And some information for the next class will be out probably in the next couple of months, hopefully, just the basics. So we'll start working on that probably first part of March sometime. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And Randy, I'm going to go ahead and let you go with Ben's segment.
All right.
And then I'll
Yeah.
follow up with the last one here.
The of course, then in March is March 22nd through the 24th is the Master Claus Academy. I want to give a thumbs up to the winner of the scholarship here from Bob Randyl and Company, Santa Chris Terry. Also, to let everybody know, like Bob said a moment ago, everybody sometimes does have a problem and cannot make it to the events. Ben Bellhorn has 2 tickets available. Other than that, if that's somebody that needs to sell their tickets, so if you can get a hold of Ben Bellhorn, he can work you into getting some seats there. Other than that, it's sold out for having Lee Edwards and Jeff McMullen as trainers for that. So get a hold of Ben Bellhorn if you're still looking to go. It would be a great weekend. It is like I said, it's professional. It's more for being, you're not going to learn how to sing jingle bells and everything else there, even though you might. It's a training class for being a performer. So but get a hold of Ben. There are still 2 seats that can be available that somebody has bought, but get a hold of Ben. And then also, of course, we have coming up in the first weekend in June is going to be the Jingle Joy Retreat up here at MAPS. We have that coming up. There will be more information coming soon. Will be the class number 2 for Christmas Performers Workshop. So, but that'll be not until June. So we've got quite a bit of time for that. So, but that's the big information here. Again, congratulations to all you guys that sent in and ladies that sent in information and the essay for the scholarship. Great job to everyone, and congratulations, Chris Terry, for winning.
All right, moving along. I just want to mention that the Santa and the Business Being Santa North Texas 11th annual 2-day class will be making a change this year because one reason, well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, Cornerstones rolled out the 1st of February, and I haven't had time to put a class together yet for which normally we have around this same weekend that we're on here a week or two either side of where we're at right now. But we're going to push that back late summer, early fall this year. For 2024. the date is to be announced, and I'm looking at a new location, possibly in north central Texas. It'll be north of the DFW area, and more centrally located to serve all of North Texas and southern Oklahoma, which and that we've had a request for. And so we've got a facility. We just got to get our dates together and start trying to plan and go forth with this. We'll announce this later on. All right. I think we covered it all. You got anything else, Scott or Randy?
Boy, those are great ones coming up. I tell you guys, please take a moment, learn about each class, contact the people that are in charge of the classes, learn their curriculum, who's going to be the teachers, and go ahead and go. Like I said, we owe it to everybody that we perform for, and we are performers, to be the best we can, because we want to do that to every child we see and every parent, and that's it will help.
That's right. All right. So guess we want to go ahead and jump into our upcoming guests and shows for the Tuesday Night Live. We really, again, because of Cornerstones and being so preoccupied there, haven't put together a extended list yet. So we're just going to highlight February 27th. I've got it wrong in our script here, guys. February 27th, TNL Season 4 opener featuring Phineas the Elf, Mike Hutchins. That'll be Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow night's show will be more of a preview show leading up to. We'll talk about a lot of the things we've talked about today, as far as the upcoming things for the Tuesday Night Live segment. And so catch us tomorrow night. It'll be me, Scott, and Spangle on the show tomorrow night. So catch us for that, and we'll work to get the upcoming guest list expanded and put out for next week. All right, Randy. Trivia answer. You ready?
Yes, sir. We got a winner there.
Got a winner?
Yeah.
Got a winner.
All righty, everybody. The question again was, what was the launch date of the new rebranding and the revamping of the Monday show, where me, Randall Lee, took over as co-host and was also at the time called S1E1. The date was July. Can you believe it? July 4th. July 4th of 2022. Got that? The winner is
That's a bunch of shows ago too.
Ben Bellhorn.
Mr. Ben Bellhorn.
Mr. Bell
Speaking
Ben
of Ben,
Horn. Ben.
he was quick on that answer too. I was watching and it didn't take him no time.
Before he barely got it out of his mouth.
He either has a heck of a memory, which he does, not taking anything away from him, or he was quick to know how to go and find that on the Tuesday Night Live videos. And as I was showing Scott earlier today when we were talking, each year we try to have a different lead-in cover page. So if you go to your videos and you're looking for different seasons, of course, you can tell the difference between season 3, season 2, season 1, so forth and so on. And of course, July 4th was the first show that Randy came on. And it was funny, Randy, because I had tagged that show as Bob and Company because I really hadn't discussed with you about doing it full time. I just wanted you to come on, do it one time, and then ask you if you had fun. Number one. Number two, would you like to do this with me?
Could not have been any more fun, Bob. I tell you, you
jumped
guys
all over it. So we want to thank you. But that was our first show.
Thank you. This has meant the world to me. It's been, look at the amount of guests we have. It's just phenomenal. And some quality, talented Santa's Mrs. Clauses that are watching, and adding to the show. It is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Just a quick number, we've got 26 folks watching right now live. So 26 people out there watching us jibber jabber here on the computer.
Well, actually 31.
Well, including YouTube and all, it's 31, our producer tells us. So 31 folks, thank you, 31 of you. We appreciate you very much. Now then, Randy and I mentioned at the end of last season that we were going to kind of put together some new segments, put to sleep, not permanently, but just push off some of the segments that we've been doing and revamp as we like to do from season to season. So we're going to launch a new segment this next week, I believe, is what Randy has told me. I'm going to go ahead and let Angela play the lead in right here. It's just a little promo and a lead in that you'll become familiar with. Go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage. I like that little last slide.
Yeah, what
And
it is, guys, is like Bob said, we talked about it last year to make some changes. Of course, it was Magical Moments last year, and year before that was Santa's Shorts. Um, so I've decided to break it down into different groups, so we can do a little bit of everything instead of just magic, which I love doing. But that's the T for tricks and magic. Of course, I is for information, and that could be anything for Santa's and Mrs. Claus. P is performance because we are performers. We can say we're Santa and we can say we're Mrs. Claus, but we are performers. So it's a little education about that. And of course, salesmanship, because it still is a business. Regardless what way we look at it, if we do it for free or we do it for profit, it's still salesmanship. We still have to sell ourselves to get the gig again and everything else. So thank you for letting me do that. You'll see each week things will change that way, but it's going to be fun to do a little bit of everything on the Santa's tips.
going to be fun, Randy. You always have so much to bring to the table, so much experience, and that's what these shows are all about, is sharing, and you do it elegantly. All right, so moving on along, my new segment this for this season for the Bob Randyl and Company Live will be a segment called Nightcap. Nightcap, Santa wears the long nightcap with his nightgown. Nightcap is going to be a segment about short stories, books, things that you can use at a lot of different events, but especially for home visits. And there's a Mrs. Claus here in Dallas, Darla. Most of you know Darla Bicknell, and she does turn down service or a tuck in service as Mrs. Claus, as a standalone Mrs. Claus. And kind of inspired by her because she reads books and tucks the children in, part of what she does on her home visits. So, anyway, now a new segment that we will start. I don't know if I'll start it next week. It may be the week after, but that is up and coming.
Well,
All right,
Bob, I have
Scott,
a
you got
question.
anything to add to anything we've talked about today?
Well, Bob, I have a question.
Okay.
At Cornerstones, I think nightcaps had a different meaning.
Oh, whoa. We wasn't going to go there. They were
Ooh,
virgin.
Is there
They were
something we want to know about here, everybody?
they were virgin. What happens in San Antonio stays in San
He's in San
Antonio.
Antonio, guys.
all I have to say is that the hotel and had a gathering area down in front in the lobby that everybody could sit around after class. And I guess some had nightcaps, some didn't.
They were all virgin. I was told they were all virgin.
Well, I wasn't talking about the women there.
Oh, no, no, no. Don't go there either.
See, now you're putting me in a position to be naughty,
Okay, so
but it was fun.
just to kind of touch on what Scott said, we were on the second level, the whole convention area up there. And as you came down the staircase or the elevator, you passed past the coffee bar, the adult entertainment refreshments, and the restaurant to go into the lobby area to get to the guest elevators. And every night, we would be the last ones out of the convention area to make sure that everything was secure and everybody was gone and everything was, turned off and put away for the night. And when we would get to the bottom of the stairs, anywhere from a half to 2/3 of the class was still down there sitting together,
Visiting.
chatting, talking, laughing in one great big group, not broke down into little segments, but one great big group. And the last night, the Sunday night when I left, I was dead tired. I was ready to go to bed. And I go down there and there was over 30 people sitting down there together.
And read Mike Hutchins' post if anybody can see it for my own defense.
And Scott drank either scotch and bourbon.
No, it's just pickle juice and milk.
Pickles.
Just messing with you. Make sure you're paying attention. Yes, pickle juice or milk. Now, pickle juice, for those who may or may not know, and I think everybody knows this trick, but fantastic for lowering your blood pressure, for lowering your blood sugar, and also for muscle tension and cramps.
Cramps.
And you can buy the little shots at the
And
counter.
I love my
And
pickle
Angela
juice
drinks every night.
every
and
night.
A lot of nights myself, I do too. She buys it by the gallon. But
And
you
the
can buy little shots at a lot of the cash registers as you go to check out, like Wally World and some of the other places. But try
Well,
pickle juice if you hadn't.
Well, I got the hotel would bring me a cup every day. It was kind of funny. They go dump it out of their big gallon jug and bring me pickle juice every day because I was having real bad leg cramps at night. It was kind of funny, but that gives you the type of attention they gave to us as a Santa school. They were so tickled to have us, and they were. I mean, it's like they were all standing almost. It felt like they were standing at the door when we walked in, Bob, with open arms. We're so
Well,
glad.
they were. They actually were, Scott. Like I said, Mr. Bass, James Bass, the executive chef, was and the F&B manager, the two
Pedro,
ladies that you worked with, to
Angela, and
put the
Laura.
event together. And
Oh, and
I mean,
Sonia.
they went
Yeah.
out of their way to make our event the best it could possibly be. And we want to commend Marriott Northwest San Antonio. If you get a chance, go down and spend a few dollars with them, stay. And it's right there at Fiesta, Texas, Six Flags, and San Antonio SeaWorld. So great place, right in between the two. Both those parks are open year round now. I think on selected dates during the winter, but depending on weather. But go down and have some fun in San Antonio if you've never been.
Well, hey, it's been a great show, great opening show, Bob. I've had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, Randy and Bob. And I look forward to coming back again and being a pain in your rear.
Well, and
So-
company. We're going to have Scott on quite a bit this year. We're drag some other folks in this year. Randy and I put the and company on there because that was something that we'd planned from the very beginning, was to broaden the show out, and it's taken a while to get our feet on the ground. And season 3, actually, Monday's show is season 4 if you want to look at it. But we lost Barry Cummins this last year, and Barry, was season 1, so went up due to his health problems, and Randy came on. Of course, that was July 4th of 2022 when Randy came on. We decided that instead of making it season 2, we would just start fresh with season 1 at that point, and so that's why this is season 3, and the Tuesday Night Live show is actually season 4. But they're both season 4 when you look at Monday and Tuesday.
Wow, that
Confusing,
was
huh?
confusing.
This has been a great format because it's just open mic basically, and
Yeah.
I hope your audience really enjoys it. I would like to add is that if anybody's planning on going to Gatlinburg, come by and see us. We'll be there live. Bob and I will be there live, and if Randall happens to come down, I'm sure he'll drop in on us, and whoever, if he comes to are you coming to Gatlinburg, Randall? Maybe
I'm not even sure when it is.
it's in 25.
Oh, 25. Oh, I'll be there in 25.
You got plenty of time to plan.
I'll be there in 25.
Yeah. But anyhow, long story short, it's always great to be back on the air, and these are always so fun. And Tuesday Night Live's always so fun. So if you tune into these, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 7:00 Central Time. Hey, we'll be doing a lot of jaw jacking and everything else over there. And then, don't forget we've got the clown's going to be on too. So no telling what he's going to come up with and what's going to pop out of his mouth. So anyhow, but we look forward to it, and thank you so much for having me. And I guess it's time for me to say goodbye. Good night, Scott. Good afternoon, Scott.
Bye, Scott. Thank you so much for being here.
Randy, you got any other follow-ups?
No, I just want to say thank you very much and Happy New Year to everybody. Can't believe it's 2024. That's crazy, 2024. So again, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. We can't do this show without you guys being connected to it. So, and such an honor for me. So thank you very much. Looking forward to a fun year again. Can't believe it's that season, but it's nothing but fun and smiles, and that's what we're here for. Is fun and smiles. And we started the show off a little bit of pain, but that happens also. But put a little prayer with it, and we'll be fine. So thank you
Yeah,
guys very much.
you're looking really good for what you've been through, Randy, and I'm glad to see you're on the mend. Hey, a little funny tidbit about it being 2024. Remember Y2K?
Oh, what? Why to what? When everything was supposed to crash, the world was going to come to an end, and
Here we are 24 years later on the internet, on YouTube Live, having a great time
you
with all of
sat
our
up. I
electronics.
sat up waiting for 12 o'clock to click by and see what was going to happen.
Dude,
I did. I sat
me
up and
too.
waited. Was everything going to fall out of the sky, or what was going to happen? Yeah.
They said my computer would crash, didn't they?
Oh, the world was supposed to end almost. Basically,
Gonna crash,
nothing.
but
Because
everything.
most places didn't. They didn't have the 2000 on the computers, and a lot of them did though. So it didn't make it. That's. But yeah, why? Wow, that's hard to remember.
All right, well, we'll leave you with that note. We want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Thank you so much for the 3 seasons of Monday Show and the 3 seasons of the Tuesday Night Live Show. We cannot do this without you guys. Yes, yes, yes. I'm buffering over here, but it is free, 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 free. We're here to help. We're here to share. We're here to answer your questions. Hey, one last thing. If you know someone who would like to be on the Monday or Tuesday show and has something to share, something very important to the community can use, reach out to us. Let us know, and we'll consider having you on. All right. Thanks, everyone. Been great. See you tomorrow night,
Bye,
7 p.m.
guys.
Central.
See you.